Hello and welcome to another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations, where your thoughts do matter. We can make it into a conversation. Now, as we know, this is the week of Thanksgiving, but most importantly, we want to end out this men's mental health talk. If you haven't been living under a rock for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about men's mental health all month because this is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So we've been doing this, two questions. Let's knock them out and let's see how deep we can go. So Leon, you haven't been here for the last couple episodes, but so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you two men's mental health questions, and you can answer it as soft as whatever you want to say. Okay,
Right on.
cool. All right. So first thing first, what expectations do you feel pressured to live up to as a man? So
To
any expectations that either you hear or you know that you feel more pressured on, but because you're a man, you don't think you can live up to that. Or maybe you're struggling to live up to that. If that makes it easier to understand the question.
understand the question. I really don't feel pressures to live up to anything. Um, I really don't. I don't feel pressures to live up to anything.
Hey, short and sweet and he's honest. Oren, what about you? Is
I
there, is
have
there
to
anything you feel pressured on?
I have to say I appreciate his answer. I think with time and life lived, you do kind of come to that conclusion, Leon. I would assume you would agree with that, right? Where those are the things that sometime when we're young, there are pressures that we feel as though that we have to live up to. The older we get, we come to the realization that um, we'll never please, let alone everyone. 9 times out of 10, you'll never please anyone. You know, so you have to figure out what is your lane. Walk accordingly in that lane. Be open and willing to grow and be stretched. But if you seek to live up to expectations, 9 times out of 10 you will fail even before you begin. That would be my response to that question. So I agree. I ditto what Leon said in reference to his answer. Um, I guess to go a little further, uh, what I like to kind of sometimes challenge young people with, especially young men with, is where is it that you got that notion that expectations are what it is that you ought to live up to? And has there been any along your journey in your early stages of where either there was a measure, a benchmark, and while you sought out to get to that mark, if you were able to supersede it or go over it, how did you feel? Right? Um, did you feel accomplished? Did you feel as though that you really had gotten somewhere that it's worthy of being praised? Or did you see yourself, for the most part, getting to one step, but realizing that there were many more to go? So, going back to what my answer is, like I said, I did owe Mr. Thomas on that one. Can't say that I have any. Like I said, I think you fail once you mentally kind of position yourself to think that you have to live up to an expectation. Don't get me wrong. There have been times, clearly, I don't know, Leon, would you agree? But I know of my life where there's been times of trying to, but like I said, it's always been on the other end of that. So, nope, man, I'm just trying to, as much as possible, be obedient, unto the Lord, knowing that I also fail in that, but that's the beauty of repentance, and keep pushing.
That sounds amazing. That honestly sounds great. So, I think for me, if I felt pressure, or if there's ever a time where I felt pressure, you see, I'm still young, so a lot of things I may see is still pressuring me. But as of right now, I don't feel any pressure besides like um debts and fines and all that. But that's life. People have those. But I think as a man, I don't really experience any pressures right now, but I know in the coming future I will. I don't know what those are yet, but I know for right now, I think I'm cruising, like I'm on autopilot. I'm chilling right now.
Okay.
But But usually, like in the coming years, and I see it when I was in elementary school, middle school, to where I was doing the same thing. I was cruising, I was chilling, I was okay. Then I got a little bit older. Now some more pressures got on.
Got it.
So maybe like once I grow older and once I have more experience, I
Mhm.
think that's when I'll start having more experiences. I'll start having like more pressures
Okay.
that's put on to me.
Agreed.
All right, so one last question, and I'll get to another question that I wanted to ask you guys. What's one thing that you're proud of that you don't give yourself enough credit for?
Man, that's a very good question. Go ahead, Leon.
So when I'm asked questions like that, I preface it with two things. My answer may sound braggadocious, and I don't mean it to do that. And
Mhm,
secondly, I give all credit to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for making these things happen. Okay.
mhm,
I juggle a lot. Relatives, production company, teaching two college classes, running a racquetball program, and I'm probably missing some things, right? I have a lot on my plate and I accomplish things. I get stuff done. So I'm very, very proud of that. I'm very proud to be able to help kids in the racquetball program, to be able to help my family, to provide platforms like this and teach the courses that I'm teaching. That's a lot. And helping to take care of relatives. That's a lot on my plate, and
mhm.
I'm proud and happy to be able to do those things.
Well
That sounds
said.
amazing, Leon. If you don't mind me asking, what are the two college courses you're teaching?
Yep, I'm teaching at the Community College of Baltimore County. I am teaching an intro to hospitality course, and the other one that I'm teaching is restaurant management.
Ooh, restaurant management. Okay. I like that. I like that. So if you had to open a restaurant, what would it be? What would you sell is my next question.
I wouldn't.
Oh, you wouldn't open a restaurant.
I would
Why
not
not?
open a restaurant. There's a lot that goes into having a successful, and by successful I mean profitable
Mm-hmm.
business, and even it's a struggle to make your restaurant profitable. There's a struggle to do that. And when you say open, that means you're establishing a menu, you're putting all policies and procedures in place, you're hiring a staff. While that's all going on, you have to market the restaurant, you have to make sure your guests are taken care of. There's a lot of headache in a restaurant. I wouldn't do it. I was a partner in five fast food businesses,
Mm-hmm.
um, about 15, 16 years ago. Um, Looking back on that, I would not have done that, but it was the aura of, man, you get to be a partner in all of this stuff that's going on, right? No, it's a heavy load. It's a heavy load opening any business, but particularly food service. Wouldn't do it. If anybody asks me, I tell them no, don't do it. Yeah, but my wife makes the best mac and cheese. We could sell it. That's nice. Just because you think it's good doesn't mean 500 people a week will, right?
Awesome.
I wouldn't do it.
Well
Also,
said.
anybody that's tuning into the show, if you guys did not know, this guy right here in the orange, he's like the head honcho, the big cheese. He's the overseer of
I'm
everything you watch here. Every single podcast and every single show that I do, pretty much run through him. Okay, so if
I'm
you want
just
your
a,
own show, if you want your own show and you feel like you have some words that you want to say, some messages you want to get out, or maybe you just want your own show just because you're like, you know what, who cares? This is the guy to contact. The LeonThomasGroup.com. Please email him. Look at the website. If you want a show, talk to that guy. He will get you a show. I promise.
I
So,
now
Oren, that's
hold on one second, please though. What we do here at the Leon Thomas Group doesn't happen without others being involved, right? We have Oren, who's one of our executive producers, does a great job. We have Jay Rasenko, who's actually producing this show. Anthony, you've been a part of other projects that we've worked on, and so none of what happens here happens without others. Doesn't happen. My name's on the marquee, yes, and that's about it. Other than that, it's a team effort in everything that we do. But I appreciate the shout out, but I want to make sure that everyone understands this is a team effort here. But thank you. But don't open a restaurant still. Don't do
it.
Maybe you can start a podcast on why you should open a restaurant, but make sure your team is good. All right, Oren, that's enough advertising for Leon. So, what's one thing that you feel proud of that you don't give yourself enough credit for?
First thing comes to mind would be the ability to know that, and I'm not trying to be deep or philosophical, although it may come off that way sometime.
Mhm.
The ability to know that when I think that I know something, it's like they say, to the man that thinks he knows everything or something, he knows nothing at all. I think it's a scripture or a parable. I would say leaning into that, remaining a sponge and always hungering and desiring to learn, being willing to engage with anyone of any walk of life, and knowing that there's such great value in the interaction between myself and them. Uh, um, and just enjoying, man, just enjoying being someone that knows that I have more to gain and receive from experiencing people than it is that I have something to give. And that when those moments and those times come, being able to hear that they appreciate the willingness to be inconvenienced, meaning that I am willing to be inconvenienced to engage with them. That would be what I feel like. Now, like I said, me, I have those senior moments. I somewhat forget the question, but that's what comes to my mind in that, man. I know you said, repeat it again, because I want to make sure I hit it spot on. Did you say something about being proud that I don't give myself credit for?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I would probably have to say, man, I really don't try to dance in any arena of where I feel proud of anything. I'm grateful, to be honest with you, man. I'm just thankful. I'm not really, I try to really stay clear of ever thinking that there's anything that I do or am that I ought to hang my hat on. So I'm more proud of when I see others win. And when I say win, honestly, more of what I mean by win is when I see them gain understanding and knowledge of what they didn't have before, to be able to become more encouraged to do something that they hadn't done before. So in those areas is when I feel the most proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, hear me, see me, know me means nothing to me. Long as God receives the glory. And I'm not saying that to be cliche. I'm saying that to be honest. Like, honestly, when and if one doesn't understand that, seeking to make sure that they understand that that is really at the end of the day all that matters. That's probably the best way I could answer that question, Anthony, authentically.
And you know what? I totally understand because in oh my god, how do I say this? My answer is similar to yours, Oren. I don't want to say that I'm really proud of anything. I think I've gotten the understanding that I have certain assets that can be used to assist other people, but then there's also areas to where I'm short on, and maybe I'm not as good or as whatever as how to say this. I'm as good as like maybe the next person next to me. But what that's saying is I really want to appreciate what I have been doing, what I've been giving the kids, whether they're in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, it don't matter. Fifth grade, all the way up to like 10th grade, because I'm a coach and a teacher. So I just want to say I'm thankful for giving me the patience for giving me the understanding, giving me the knowledge on how to talk to seventh graders, how to talk to eighth graders, how to talk to sixth graders, how to understand and deal with fifth graders and younger, how to deal with and understand seventh graders and older, how to deal with and understand sixth graders and whatever time frame the kids are. I'm thinking for that knowledge to say, hey, you know what? This is how they talk to you. This is how they perceive you. This is how they understand something. This is how they do stuff. So now it's like, okay, so how can I help them be better instead of, hey, you know what? Let's just go out and have some fun. Or let's just forget any responsibility. Let's just enjoy the day. No. How do I help them get better? Because I'm still learning the same way I would teach them how to be a better of themselves.
There you go. Remaining that student is extremely important. That's what I take away from what you just said, man. Remaining a student, remaining a sponge, no matter how much knowledge you obtain, being willing to share it and give it, but know that there will be always someone that has more knowledge or more understanding than you. So reciprocating it, you know what I mean? Giving it, but also knowing that, positioning yourself to receive it. Man, I salute you on that, brother.
Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. All right, so now we're getting to our last question of the day. And honestly, I thought of this question before the show as I was as I was coming into the studio. What are your honest thoughts on streaming today and the future of it?
Good one. Good one.
For example, the reason why I thought of this question was because if you guys don't know, there's a group that everybody watches, and it's and they're called AMP. And a few of the famous AMP members are Kai Cenat, Duke Dennis, Agent, Phantom, and then a few other ones too. But those are like the real heavy hitters of streaming right now, or at least for like vlogging. So when it comes to streaming, I see a lot of their streams. They're doing a lot of like stupid stuff. Like every year in July, they have an entire fireworks war inside of a house. And there's a story that Kai Cenat, he had a giveaway in New York that started into a riot. And he had criminal charges from that. So my question is, how do you feel about streaming, whether it's gaming, vlogging, doesn't matter, and the future of it? Where do you think that's going?
This is a great question, man. If it's okay, I'll take a stab at it first.
Sure.
I guess being enough familiar with it, just in regards to, because you can't miss it, right? In this day and time, it will cross your algorithm, your YouTube, and for you all that follow other streaming sites, you'll know way more than I do. But I appreciate that question, man, because there are times where I'll find myself watching it. If it's Kai Cenat's, what is it called? The 30-day Mafiathon, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I know I caught 2 and 3, a little bit of them. Speed's thing when Speed, right?
Yes,
when he traveled,
you
know what I mean? When he traveled. And the interesting thing is, man, I find that there are times of where within some of what they do, it's inspiring. But I think the part of it where I always say this, I'm looking at it at my age down, like meaning backwards, right? Versus I'm not 21 to 32, because I think like Duke Dennis is maybe the oldest, as I always hear them say, right? He's scratching 31, 32, right? Like that's old. But I get it when it comes to that age bracket. But the thing is, man, I think that because that age group, yourself included, you guys have the pulse of the younger generation, and to where none of it is scripted, so to speak. It's just live and in living color. It's raw, and that it's all and everything, happening in real time. Honestly, I think, man, it's going to have some sense or form of a detriment long term. And I'm not knocking the young guys, because I mean, granted, they're getting to it. There are times where I look at it and it's a little bit of humor. But like I said, I'm looking at it from, my age backwards. I think about the generations that really are like just, I mean, laser focused into watching everything that they do, and that beginning to become what it is that they seek to become and be like. You know what I mean? So that's where sometimes I think that there could be some levels of unfortunateness, if that's not a word, y'all know what I mean, down the line, where, to what extreme will they go to get those likes and to get those whatever the term is that's called, those followers. Will they? Man, I don't even want to put anything in the atmosphere of how far they would be willing to go. But just by watching a lot of what happens, it's a little scary to a degree, man, because honestly, and I'm not just talking about those two particular hubs as far as AMP or we say Speed. I mean, you got what they call them, the Clover Boys, the ones that fall
Yeah,
under,
Clover Boys. Yeah.
Casanata. So I know a little bit, right? But what I'm saying is it's just some of what it is that they do sometime, where I'll say this one thing that kind of is where I kind of checked out a little bit. I was like, this looks a little dangerous, where they were going through destroying the particular mansions, right? The houses that they're living in, either purchased or rent, and just destroying the equipment. And I'm like, guys, you have somewhat of endless money right now that makes it seem like you can kind of like just move through it. But let's look at the kids that are watching you guys. If any of them were to do any of these things in their parents' homes, right? Or if they were to do any of these things in homes that they purchase and think that just because it's theirs, it's acceptable behavior, it's ramifications that come with that. That the average person does not have money and have means to be able to clear it, so to speak. So that's the thing where I find that I think some of it, now I will say this. I think that what all of them could benefit from, and I'll assume that they possibly may have it, is to have some individuals in their lives that could pour into them some wisdom to know how to reel it in at times, or at least position themselves to where as though it doesn't, where it's not, well, let's just say this, where it won't be as counterproductive long term. That's what I would say. So if to kind of take anything away from it, man, I like what I see. Some of it, like I said, because I'm a lot older, versus within that age bracket of where things are. But man, I'm looking at it, on a long-term base, the next 5, 10, 15 years, what really will come from that? I mean, I'll give you an example. Let's just take this. Let's take what was considered to be gangster rap or hip hop in the kind of sort of late 80s, early 90s, and what it was that so much of the music was embodying. It birthed the generation of what in this latter day of a lot of rappers that consider themselves drill rappers, right? So where a lot of what their music is that they're highlighting, getting to it. I'm just going to call it getting to it, because we know that YouTube, has a feeling when it comes to certain words that you use, but, you know what I mean? But what I say that, I say that to say where, what are you birthing, about what content you're putting out, everything that just because you can do it isn't always beneficial to put out. Just because you can make money by way of doing it doesn't mean that it's to be of proper nourishment and health, down the line. So that's what I would say, man. I know I kind of stretched it out and probably went in a few different directions, but I definitely am familiar. But I don't know if it's going to be as beneficial long term, just because everything that's happening is unscripted and it's happening in real time. And you cannot erase it. You cannot do away with it. And when you fast forward 5, 10, 15 years, you look back, yeah, you may have made a boatload of money, but you know me, I always got to throw some scripture in. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? So just because you can make a lot of money, does that mean really you winning? Does that really mean that you're up?
You spitting right now. Hold on, you spitting, Oren. But
so,
wait, but matter of fact, yeah, go ahead.
No, that was it. That was it. Go ahead.
Oh, was it?
Go ahead. No, you keep going. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted to give Leon a chance because I don't know if he forgot the question, but I ain't gonna lie, you dropping dimes, Oren. You dropping them diamonds. I hope everybody was listening. Everybody in chat, everybody at home, or if they're watching this on a future time and they didn't see the live right now. So Leon, just to re-say the question. How do you feel about streaming today, and where do you think it's going to end up in the future? Like the path of it.
Okay, so for the last 3 or 4 minutes, everything that you and Oren were talking about, the shows, the characters, whoever they are, I have no clue on any of that stuff that you guys were talking about. I have absolutely no clue at all.
So let me. Oh, okay,
However,
please. Okay, because I was going to say you don't have to know about
as
them
it
to know.
relates,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm just saying what
yeah.
y'all talked about. I don't know any of that. That's
Understood.
Mhm.
my point.
Understood.
That's my
Understood.
point.
Yeah. I got
Now,
you.
in regards to streaming,
Mhm.
right? I think television is going to go away.
If not
There,
already has.
there are local
Yeah.
TV stations that, for years and even more so,
Mhm.
that don't have sports departments, that are outsourcing weather, that have anchors living in other cities but are
Mhm.
broadcasting representing like they're in one, so living in Boston but
Mhm.
broadcasting as if they were from Baltimore.
True.
Hmm.
True.
Okay. The sports networks continuing to cut people from their payrolls, indicating that because of the use of cable television is down, that they're not making as much money. I think we may watch things on a big screen,
Mhm.
but it's going to be crazy streaming. For example, look at the NFL. Thursday night, what is it? Thursday night on Amazon,
Yeah, Thursday night on
right?
Amazon.
This Friday's game
Friday,
will be
Black
some,
Friday night.
right?
Uh, there's maybe
Yeah,
some game on Saturday for like Christmas, but
yeah,
Sunday and Monday.
right.
Can I? Can I?
It's starting to change, and so I see streaming is going to continue to grow to the point that I see cable television and local TV going away.
Going away.
Hmm.
You know what's crazy, Leon? What you said that, and you had me thinking. Just the other day, I thought about this, and I'm glad that you brought up the sports component. This is the first year because we know, and I mean, I don't know if you guys are basketball people, but that TNT, went away last year in regards to being who was housing or one of the hubs of what was giving us, National Basketball Association. And I can say this is the first year where I couldn't tell you a game I've watched because now, mind you, my family and I, we have probably 4 or 5 of the different particular streaming sites, but trying to go through and find where the game is or all of those things versus being able to go right to your cable network and go right to TNT or what used to be TBS or you know what I mean. It's so I agree. I agree a lot with what you just said, and that's why earlier in when you said that, Lee, and I said it pretty much has gone away because if we can look at and real quick, so Anthony, in your time of living thus far, cable
Hmm.
was already a part of life. Leon and I can remember before there was cable. So what's interesting with Leon's like, man, don't tell my age, right? But what cable was cable brought multiple channels that we could surf through to find something to watch where it used to be at least for us back in Maryland, what was it, 2, 11, 13, 45, and 54, and if your antennas work pretty good you might get 7 or 9. I don't know if you remember a couple of those stations, Leon, right? But where I can remember when cable came and it gave you an influx of at least, let's just say, 50 more channels. We
Hmm.
began to watch those 5 that we only had before less. Fast forward, I'm just going to jump to streaming. I can't tell you the last time I've actually turned my television on and watched any cable. So I say all of that to say, Leon, I agree with you. I think that we're already right there. I think that probably within the next 5 years, if even before then, because technology is taking over and moving things like that, will we even need Xfinity, Comcast? Down here we have Spectrum, Cox, pause. But you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like the different
Yeah.
things of those type of streaming sites. But no,
Well,
but Leon, go. I just wanted to kind of ditto that a little bit.
you're not going to need it because everything's going to be strictly by the phone, right? No, I'm right now. I am connected to a Wi-Fi network,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
my phone signal strength is strong enough that I really don't need to do that.
Yep.
Really don't need to. It's all here. Excuse me, and on tablets, right? And one of the things that we talked about at our company, the Leon Thomas Group, was that those folks that we produce shows for, everyone that works with us, that this could be a very strong medium to get information
Hmm.
in the years to come.
Mhm.
Hmm.
right? This stuff is here. There are people now that are watching this via a brand of streaming, right?
Mhm.
Facebook, YouTube, right? People are watching right now where you don't need Comcast for that, right? People, I bet you most of the people that are watching this right now or on replay are watching on some type of mobile
On their
device,
phone. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
so I see streaming as continuing to grow. It's going to continue to be big. That's where I see it going.
I appreciate Anthony. Real quick, I'll say this: that Leon actually wasn't as familiar with what, and I'll just say you and I were talking about. Even though I know you're way more familiar with me than I am, right? Than what it was
Oh
that I was
yeah,
putting out
yeah,
there. But I say this for this reason: the angle of such of where Leon went at with it was really to open it up more than just it being to the specifics, right? To the few streamers, right? It goes back to
yeah.
what your initial question was to streaming in itself. That man, television, or let's just say to Leon's point of how we watch whatever we watch, to what myself and Leon were more familiar with before cable, and then by the time you came around, Anthony, right, cable was already here. That's
Hmm.
that's on its way out. It's on its way out, and it's on its way out in such a rapid pace. Um, I can imagine for those that either work with those companies as well as those that own a lot of those particular companies, is what is it that they're doing different now? What ways are they strategically making some alterations? How are they pivoting? Similar, and I'm just going to throw this out, similar to how when, and this is kind of, you're born, what year were you born in? You're born in the 2000s, Anthony?
2000.
2000. So I'll go a year or
Yeah.
two or three or four before you, when something called Napster came around. Leon, you remember Napster? When Napster came? When Napster came, Napster changed the music industry, and it was where this young man, as far as I can remember, created this program that could take music from all companies, put it in this particular system, and where you could listen to, download, put it in your MP3 for free, right? That had the music industry having to restructure so much of what their deals are. So where music back in the 90s, most of it was to be purchased via CDs, and tapes had already kind of gone away, and vinyl had gone away, although vinyl has come back again. That is kind of where the birthing of streaming in reference to music came from. Just kind of a little fun fact, and people can go and research it more. But to where and how it is that we receive music now, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeart, all of those things, that came out of the creation of Napster, being able to, for the record companies, getting back what it was that they own, where somebody was able to kind of infiltrate, so to speak, the system and give it to people for free. So that gentleman really, went through some things with it, but he birthed unknowingly what in turn is how we see streaming through music and possibly some other things. So that's just a little thing to kind of drop, man. That's what came to my mind when you asked that question. And then when Leon answered it, I thought even as far as music outside of just television. Go ahead, Leon. What you got?
And I think in terms of just two particular areas, news and sports, right? Think about this. The newspaper, right?
Mm,
Remember,
hmm.
I think, yeah, I have one here. This is my uncle's paper, right? What we did for my uncle's 100th birthday, right? The physical newspaper. When's the last time you've seen, someone with one of these, right?
Hmm.
If they're reading a newspaper,
Hmm.
they're
Hmm.
doing it online.
Online.
And
Yeah.
even their subscription numbers have dropped tremendously. They say that,
Yeah.
right? They openly tell you that the number of newspapers that have closed in the last 4 or 5 years is completely gone down. I mean, shut down,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
online. I
Not just
mean,
online.
gone,
Done. Done. Yeah.
right? And I think that has created an opportunity for folks like Anthony, right? Like Jasmine Pollock, like Cole Brennan, to be able to have their opinion backed up by some occasional facts be seen on platforms like this, where folks can go to get information about local events. They can get sports information from more than just a few sources or a few of those that may have insider information, but from a wide variety of folks in short form, right? And I
Mhm.
also think, and I'm seeing this in education, um, that folks want short, bite-sized pieces of information, and they can get that through multiple streaming platforms. Streaming is going to be, we have seen nothing when it comes to streaming yet. You wait, ask that question a year from now, Anthony. Watch and see what's changed. I think it's going to be big, really big.
I think it's gonna be big too. But something that I also wanted to say, and I'm gonna kind of give you guys the also thank you for like both your perspectives, but I'm gonna kind of give you like the young perspective, like from my point of view.
Please
So
do.
Oren, yes, what you were saying when I was growing up, I had cable TV.
Hmm.
So I had when I had PBS Kids during the week. I had WB Kids on the weekends. I had 4 Kids on the weekends. It was
Hmm.
channels 50, 51, and 52 had Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and
Hmm.
Disney Channel.
Hmm.
And then Sports Center, I would flick through Sports Center because I was a huge sports guy.
Hmm.
So so then so then from me having cable TV, then came satellites,
Hmm. Hmm.
with Direct TV,
Dishes.
Verizon,
Yeah.
whoever. And now from cable TV to having satellites to now having Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix. Now you can watch whatever you want, whenever you want, apart from watching what you wanted, but at a certain time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's a major difference
Good point.
in why it's shifting.
Yeah.
Because with cable and with you having the satellite, you had all the shows you wanted, but they came at certain times.
You had
Now
to
everybody
mentally
had
schedule it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody had a time to
Yeah.
where, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna put you for this. I would watch Dragon Ball Z Kai when I was younger, when I was like 9 years old, 8 years old, and
Hmm.
they would come on at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Hmm.
Sometimes I would forget about it. Other times I would watch something else.
Yeah.
Other times I wouldn't even be home.
Yeah.
So it's like the time that I have to catch Dragon Ball Z, I would love to catch it. Even
Yeah.
when I remember, like, oh, it's 9:55. It's about to come on. I'm catching the ending credits of the last show. Then
Yeah.
the opening for Dragon Ball Z Kai comes on.
Yeah.
Now I'm sitting there quiet for 30 minutes. Nobody bother me. I'm watching my stories.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
watching my shows. But now with streaming, I can literally watch that whenever I want. And with my, I'll say busy schedule, with my now busy schedule, I'm watching that at 2 in the morning. I'm watching that at 11 at night. So instead of being at 10 in the morning when I first wake up, I see Dragon Ball. Now
Hmm.
it could be literally any time of the day,
Hmm.
and the scheduling doesn't matter. So now I'll say streaming went from, like you said, Oren, it went from mentally scheduling to like, oh, you got to watch it at this time.
You can binge watch even if you need
Right,
to.
you can
Yeah.
binge,
Yeah.
you can binge watch the entire series if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, if it was available on that streaming
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you can literally binge watch an entire series on your timing. If
Yeah.
it takes you a day to finish a series, that's cool.
Yeah.
If it takes you 3 years to finish the series, that's cool too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what streaming is. You can watch old shows, you can watch new shows, you can watch repeats of shows you already seen, or
Yeah.
you can see like the newest upcoming series or whatever, because you can watch it on your time. It's
Yeah.
not on their time anymore. Now it's on ours.
Yeah. You
So
know
with
what?
streaming,
Go ahead. Yeah. Keep going. I'm sorry.
so that's what TV streaming.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now with vlog streaming, what me and you were talking about, Oren,
Hmm.
with vlog streaming, I think it's very entertaining, and they get subs.
Hmm.
Actually, hold on, this is somebody perfect for this. So Autumn, come here. Need you for a sec.
Yeah.
Come here, Autumn. So if you guys don't know, this is my niece Autumn right here. So she
Hey, Autumn, how are
does,
you?
Hello, Autumn.
so Autumn, let me ask you a question. Who do you watch as like streamers?
I show speed.
You watch I Show Speed? Why do you like I Show Speed? You don't know?
No.
You just do it.
Yeah.
What makes I Show Speed funny?
It's silly.
Oh, they're like doing sweet.
I was thinking that before she said it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that really
yeah,
makes it funny.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but I'm doing a show right now. I mean, you're welcome to sit here and watch, or if you want to, or you want to go outside and watch TV.
You want some fries?
I'll get fries later.
You know, I have fries right now. They want some.
Sure, I guess.
Oh, I'll be back.
Okay.
Look in real time. Look, what
Right.
you just had happen speaks to what we were talking about, right? From that angle. And here's the interesting thing about it. And I'll say this, and then I, throw it back to you, man, because I know you want us to go to the next. That's the
Mhm.
interesting thing of how just information and entertainment is consumed now. It happens in real time. It's unscripted, and no matter if us older people want to or miss having to, like you said earlier, mentally schedule, prepare ourselves for the show that's coming on at 8 or at 9 or whatever the case may be. There's a great
Mhm.
level where we have to embrace where things are now. With that being said, though, I do think that although this is not coming back again, there's things that there's things that were within of how if you missed a show, you just missed it. But what it did was it prepared you to be able to position yourself, maybe more than prepare, position yourself to engage in conversation with somebody that either you went to school with or that wherever it is in the family that you said, hey, did you catch last night's episode or did you catch last week's episode or whatever the case may be? So that part of engaging, I feel like has kind of gone. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in a different capacity, but that part I think that somewhat has gone away where, when you speak about, I think you spoke about the binge, where you're able to binge watch something.
Mhm.
Hey man, I've definitely binge watched a couple things. I always jokingly say like, it just kind of put a plug out for this show because I thought it was amazing. The Blacklist, it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's like 13 seasons. I watched all 200 plus episodes in about a week and a half time. I know it sounds crazy.
Mm.
I don't even know how much I slept that week, but it also, it's a decade old. That's the other thing. So I wanted to throw that out. But with that being said, to your point, there's something that we miss from whatever episode that came on at whatever time of day that each week it came on at that time. You had to schedule yourself to sit, like you kind of plan some of your day around it. You were like, okay, I cannot wait till, it's Friday night at 9 o'clock, my show comes on, or those that back in the day used to watch the Cosby Show or Cheers or whatever the case may be. You literally finished whatever you had to do at the time of when you wanted to make sure you were home to watch it, right? 60 minutes for some of the older folks, whatever the case may be. But
Yeah.
that's what has kind of gone away, where being able to watch everything from yesteryear till today all at once, all at the same time. Yes, it's pluses in it, but I also think that it's some things that we lose from it. Just want to say that.
And yep, I
Go
agree
ahead,
with you,
Leon.
Warren. I agree. And also think about way back when cable first started. We were one of the first, I think, one of the first 5 to
We were.
have cable
We were. You're
on
right.
our block. And
Mhm.
one of the
I
things
thought you
that
meant states. Go ahead.
they sold as a benefit for having cable was getting the DC stations clear.
Mhm. Clear.
You
Yep.
didn't have to go to
Yeah.
UHF and fine tune it, right?
Just from
So you knew
aluminum
your
foil.
2, 11, 13 were going to come in clear, right? But 5, 7, 20, whatever else was out
Yeah.
of DC,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you get those clear too,
Yeah.
right? That was one of the big things.
That is so true. I
right?
forgot about that. That was one of the
Right?
plugs.
Was that you
That
get it?
was.
Watch, this is clear. Then remember closed circuit TV.
Yes.
That
Yes.
the boxing matches. You didn't have to
Yes.
go to the Civic Center
Nope.
to watch it on closed circuit because you could buy it,
Yeah. Pay per view.
right? Pay per view. You could buy it there
$35.
and watch it, right?
Yes, indeed.
And but now look at where it's grown to, right?
Yeah.
I wonder where streaming
Mhm.
is going to grow to, and often there are unintended positive consequences
True.
of things. I'll give you one that we all experience. When we go into a parking lot,
Mhm.
we see a ramp, right? Or a curb when we're going to a street corner, right?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
notice now delivery truck drivers are pulling up to that curb spot so they can roll their delivery up the ramp. It's not there for them, it's there for those who need accessibility.
Yeah.
but they use it.
I haven't noticed that.
They use it, right?
Yeah,
Take-
maybe I have.
Watch when the next time you go anywhere, you see a delivery truck.
Mhm.
They're not pulling stuff up a curb anymore. They're parking where that accessible ramp is.
So they're
Mhm.
blocking the
Okay.
ramp also. Now,
They're
I did see that
blocking the
I
ramp.
saw that the other day.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're blocking the ramp.
Yeah.
Think about this. When we watch television, closed captioning. I know I have, and many of my friends have indicated that because a show is in lower volume or the things are said so quickly that they turn on the closed captioning to understand what they said,
I know I do.
right? That's
Now,
not for
doesn't
us.
count. Now, it doesn't count if you have closed captionings, but you're watching anime and they speak a different language.
Right, doesn't
What?
count. Right, doesn't count. Doesn't count.
No,
that's
You know,
what,
people
that's what
that's
counts.
there for those that are hearing impaired,
Yeah.
right? But and look at they've used it. So I wonder where
True.
streaming is going to go with some unintended consequences that are positive for all of us.
Well put.
You know, to see what happens a year from now, 18 months from now, to see where we end up in this whole
Yeah.
this whole streaming thing. And they
Mhm.
they make it so easy for you now,
Very much so.
right? I got a new phone yesterday, not because I wanted one. My other one broke,
Mm.
and I went to the AT&T store, and in a half an hour, everything that was on my old phone,
It's on the new one.
everything is
Mhm.
on the new one.
Yeah.
My logins were there.
Yeah.
My home Wi-Fi. It's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make it so easy for us now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And honestly,
Very true.
I think staying on the track for streaming. Actually, Autumn, I got a question for you.
What?
So, can you name me 2 shows that you watch on TV? Like you don't open Disney Plus or anything. If you turn on TV, what 2 shows do you want to watch?
Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss.
Those are both on Prime Video. Those don't count.
No, because I go on YouTube to watch them.
Okay.
I got a question
So-
for let me add this to your question. If when watching television, what channel do you watch? What 2 channels do you watch?
So, like, do you watch Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network? Disney
Not
Channel?
shows. What channel? Yeah, like what is the name of the channel? The number of the channel that you go to?
Like the website?
No. So like when you
No, but
turn
that's
on
good that
TV,
she said. That's good that she said that.
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
means,
yeah,
That,
that's- yeah,
means
that's why I
that
gotta
to what
say the
we're
question
to what we're
differently.
talking about,
So-
it's
So, like,
becoming
when you
obsolete.
turn on the TV, Autumn, do you go to Nickelodeon? You go to Cartoon Network? You go to Disney Channel? Do you go
On
to
channel
Disney
9 or
XD?
channel 58.
I don't think she knows the channel numbers, but she know like the program names.
But see, and I'm glad that you're kind. Go ahead, Leo, because Leo, that's what we're talking about. That shows to where Autumn. How old are you? If
Right.
you don't mind me asking.
8.
8.
She's
So 8, 24, 48, and whatever Leon's age is, right?
Yeah.
Those are the different breakdowns of
Right.
where to what Leon is talking about. To then when we go all the way down to Autumn's age at 8, that becomes absolute. Like she doesn't
Right.
even know what we're talking about.
hmm
To where it shows that to where streaming
That's
is, she will understand it at levels we won't even be able to comprehend, if not already.
Mhm. So yeah, that's that's basically what I wanted to say. Like when it comes to streaming has taken over us
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
And then going back to Leon's point of view, when he was talking about they transferred his old stuff to his new phone. That's how they get the new stuff on the phones now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the data, like the data transfer. Because every single time I get a new phone, it's always if you have the same carrier. I don't know if it works for different carriers, but I know if you have the same if you have the same carrier for your phone,
Mhm.
all your data is in the cloud.
So it's software.
Yeah, so it's software. So all your data is in the cloud to where whatever you do, photos, passwords, apps, whatever, it's
Mhm.
all in the cloud and it's saved up there. So that way, if you want to move it to a new phone,
Mhm.
they get it from the cloud. You
the
can
cloud,
do
yeah.
whatever on your old phone. That's
Yeah.
cool. It doesn't matter. But if it's not in the cloud, it's gonna lose. It's gonna be gone forever.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Leon, that's why they did it so fast, because whatever you're hooked up to, if you're hooked up to Google or to whatever phone carrier you have, and when they transferred the stuff over, you put in your old passcode, your old email or whatever, and now they got your information from the cloud and they put it on the new phone.
Mhm.
Had they not did that, you would have had to start from ground zero all over again.
Right.
New numbers, new photos, new passwords, everything.
Which means it takes me away from watching streaming and other
Yes.
things on the phone, right? So the streaming companies, along with the cable carriers and anyone else that manages the cloud, I think there's a collaboration going on now that says, you know what, when Leon comes to get that phone, we don't have a lot of time. And we got to do like you just said, Anthony. We got to pull it from the cloud. We got to get this thing going because we can't have him with any downtime from watching reruns of Fred Sanford while he's sitting at a traffic light.
Mhm.
Good point. Good point. Take us into the next one, Anthony.
Well, hey, listen, that was pretty much the 3 questions I had today. Cause that streaming question, I knew that's going to take us for a good while. But
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I got now 3 different perspectives on the matter. Cause
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna come tomorrow, but she came tonight.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's even better.
Same.
So, are there any other question that you guys have? Autumn, is there a question you want us to answer? Like, you got a question about life or anything?
Sure, I do, but I don't know what I'm gonna ask.
You don't know what you want to ask?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because look, this show is called Real Thoughts and Conversations. Okay, so we have actual conversations about questions that you that we may have. So, like, is there a question that you have? If you don't have a question, it's okay.
Is there a random collection that you have?
A random collection. So, do you guys have like any random collectibles of whatever?
Yeah, because you have one right here.
Yeah, because I got. Listen, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to show it. Look, I'm starting a collection of anime swords, and I have pop figures.
Wait, why don't you ever open them? It's like cute coins that have a bottle, but you don't open them.
Because they're going to be worth more if I don't open them someday.
Oh, yeah.
So if I got to sell them, I can sell them at full price.
She had that question prepped. She scanned your room and said, "I'm gonna ask all of them this question, but I'm really asking Anthony."
A random collection.
Do you have any collectibles of any sort? It could be newspapers. It could be old basketball cards, basketball shoes, whatever.
Yeah, I do. I'll let Leon go.
Go ahead. I'm gonna think mine through to see if I actually have any while we're speaking.
Mine would be sneakers, man. Mine would be shoes. Yeah. That would be me. I don't guess it's random, but it's yeah. That's the first thing came to my mind when she asked that question. Whereas though, like if it was scene, it would be like, you know what I mean? But yes, that would be mine. Off the top, the first thing comes to my mind. Yeah, but I like where I go back to. I like the way where she kind of positioned her question. She probably scanned your room and said, "I got a question for them." See, exactly. She's like, "But I want Anthony to answer this, but I'm gonna ask everybody to keep it general." That was a great question, Autumn. But yeah, mine would be probably sneakers. Yeah.
I do have a random collection. It's watches.
Ooh.
And only one of them works.
Oh.
You know what? I'm not mad at that because I wanted to start collecting watches, but then I was like, you know what? Nah, because I don't wear watches like that. Yeah. It would be nice to have them in the house, but I don't wear them.
It wasn't again, it's random because it definitely wasn't on purpose. Let me see how many watches I can get. But it was like I think the first couple were from my father. Right? I have one from my grandfather. And others were mostly purchased. There was one that was a gift from my wife.
Okay.
And I think the others were, hey, my watch just broke. I got to get one.
Okay.
Right. And
they just started accumulating after a while.
They started accumulating.
Yeah.
And then, here they are. I did a video for a family at our church. I don't know why I did it, but I had all 21 in a video. Like, well, which one do you want me to bring to church? And the 3 kids selected a watch for me to take to church.
Yeah.
And one of them I couldn't find a battery for. I mean, no one had a jewelry store,
to
repair
get it,
shop, or
to get it.
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to get it working. So that's my random collection of
That's a
20,
great. That was a
about
great question.
21 watches. Yeah,
That was, and
Autumn,
for
right
all
on.
three of us to have three totally different
Yeah.
responses.
When are
Thank
you
you.
starting? When are you starting your show, Autumn? That's my question to you. When are you starting your show?
You want a podcast, Autumn? Which one? Which you want your podcast to be about?
Life.
Life?
Yeah.
Just any podcast about life. What would you name it?
Life.
Life as a kid.
Oh, life as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know my Anarchy episode, right? Or my Anarchy podcast I tell you about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what if I did
You should have
next
her on
Monday?
an episode. Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
I should give her an
Yeah.
episode. So what
Yeah.
if I told you? So what if I told you that on December 1st, that Monday, I make a episode about life as a kid starring you. You want to do that?
Mhm.
Cool.
That'd be cool.
Look, I got my guest for the next Anarchy episode.
There you go. There you go. Yes, indeed. So that knock we heard in the background was meaningful and purposeful. She came
Yes.
today versus tomorrow for a reason.
Yeah,
like
the first time she knocked, I was explaining my answer, but then
I heard
second
it.
time
I saw
was,
you
know
look.
what? This
Yeah,
is a good time to bring her in.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Well, pleasure meeting you, Autumn. Thank you for joining us tonight. Great question.
You want to do the
And,
outro, Autumn?
Yeah.
Cool.
And
you got
Autumn,
any-
you have to get Anthony to bring you to Baltimore so you can play racquetball.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
We got to
I
make
can
that
tell you
happen.
about it. I can
All
tell
right.
you about his racquetball program, but
How about I meet you how about you meet us in the middle next weekend in Severna Park?
it could work.
Yeah.
It could work. We can
I
see.
know my mom approves, too.
Yeah.
It can work.
If my sister approves, then we'll see.
Nice.
Right on.
All right, ready, Autumn?
Yeah.
All right, so look, so we're gonna say thank you for watching. We'll see you guys later. Okay? Go ahead and say it.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
See you next week.
Bye.